to his computer.
Yes,
There you go, recording in progress. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Moss Performance Podcast. We've been talking for about 15 minutes, but I'm really excited about my guest today. Going to be a really short intro because I really want to get to the nitty gritty of things, but very excited to have Coach Pavel Macek. Macek, did I pronounce that right, Coach? Did I butcher your
yes,
name?
Macek, that's
Macek.
right.
On the podcast, StrongFirst Instructor and expert in dumbbell, kettlebells, and every other exercise you can think of. So, Coach, thank you for being on my podcast today.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for the invitation. Looking forward for today's conversation.
So we were talking a little bit off air. He'll be in California in June. So if you guys are in Southern California, if you guys are in Northern California, Central California, he'll be coaching in Modesto. What dates, Coach, again?
It's beginning of June. I can't remember the exact date, but I believe it's the first weekend in June. Actually, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I'll teach the very first US StrongFirst dumbbell workshop. Entered dumbbell, a project that I have been working on for more than 10 years now. So this will be a first workshop, and then I'll teach StrongFirst Resilient, a special course workshop that I developed for StrongFirst. This will be actually the second US event.
Awesome. So I'll put the link in the description to the workshop. Again, if you guys are in Southern California, Northern California, Central California, you don't want to miss this. I might be there, so if you guys like me enough, we might coincide, and we will. Coffee's on me because I'm a big coffee drinker. I didn't mention that off there. I'm currently drinking tea, but I'm very excited. I actually
Nice
want
tea
to.
here.
What are you drinking? Tea as well?
Yes, I love drinking coffee, but usually not at home. Just when I go out with my wife to enjoy a cup of coffee, and at home I drink tea for years and years. I learned in China to drink so-called pu'er tea. It's very special brand of tea. It's good for health. It's good for longevity. My grandmaster, who lived up to 103. This is what he has done. He said his secret of longevity is practice, of course, exercise.
Yeah.
Number two, reasonable diet, which was in southern China was very paleo-like. And third, he said pu'er tea. So I give it a go, and I fell in love with the tea. So it's a nice morning ritual that me and my wife enjoy. And then during the day when I'm working on the computer or reading, I'm drinking tea.
Did you live in China, Coach?
No, I visited China and Hong Kong probably around 20 times. My first trip was in 1999 to Hong Kong. Then my teacher moved to mainland China, so I've been there about 20 times. Every time I stayed, let's say 2 weeks to 2 months, something like that, study Chinese martial arts and longevity practices.
Nice. What? I hope I'm asking this question correctly. What kind of martial arts do you practice?
Mhm. My main style is called Hung Kyun. It's a southern Chinese martial art. Years later, I started to learn Sino-Tibetan style, which is called Hapkin, long range fighting, very fluid, very fast. And about 10 years ago, I started to learn a third style, which is called needle in cotton. It looks like the common known Tai Chi Chuan.
Okay.
Sometimes pronounced as Tai Chi in the West, incorrectly, Tai Chi Chuan. And I like it very much because it's complement the hard style of Hong Kong, the MMA type of style, Hapkin. So this is it's slow, it's gentle, it's relaxed, but it has the combat. It preserves the combat application. And I also practice and teach mixed martial arts, MMA, and reality-based self-defense. So I like the whole package. I like the traditional
Yeah.
art of hard and soft. I like the sport aspect, MMA, which, in my opinion, amateur MMA is one of the best things that people interested in combat arts can do. You learn how to strike, how to kick, how to wrestle, take somebody down, ground and pound, some submissions. and reality-based self-defense, how to use it in today's environment, de-escalation, self-protection, awareness, and knife defense, gun defense, and stuff like that.
And this is amateur MMA.
Yes, amateur MMA, that's right.
So I mean, from the sound of it, it sounds like you've been pretty active your entire life. You've practiced
Oh,
different martial
I'm very
arts.
active. The thing is, I take care of my health because I have so many things that interest me.
Yeah.
So many activities, and of course, reading. As you could see, right? We are in my we are in my study, so this is part of my library.
Okay, so let's rewind let's rewind many years. How did you get started in this in health and wellness and strength and conditioning, all of that stuff? What does that journey look like?
Mhm. The usual story. I was a sick and frail kid, so I was small and thin and weak, and I had a severe asthma when I was a kid. So I had to go to the doctor to get vaccination on every 2 weeks. I was on meds, so my health wasn't doing good. Then in when I was maybe in the basic school, fourth grade, one of my friends he moved back to Czechia from China because his family they lived in China as ambassadors. And they came back, and he brought the movies with Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, kung fu
No
movies.
way.
And of course, we loved it as kids. So I said, "Hey, I need to learn some martial arts." So my mother she signed me up for judo classes, but judo it was more wrestling, throwing, and I wanted to learn Chinese kung fu. So later, after the revolution, 1989 here, suddenly many schools of various martial arts started to appear. So I signed up for Chinese martial arts classes, and as it said, the rest is the history. Also, we had a very strict physical education teacher at school. So I was doing great in all the other subjects, topics, right? So all A's, but I was F in physical education.
No.
Yeah. So the teacher said, I'm gonna fail you if you don't do anything about yourself. So my friends they came from the school and they did their homeworks from math and languages and whatnot, history. And I when I came home, I went to run and throw and jump. We had very how to say, very vast curriculum, great foundation for all types of athletic
Okay.
events and sports. That basically saved me. And also, there's a beginning of my strength and conditioning career, so to speak, because we had
Okay.
every Thursday we had like strength training classes. The teacher he said, "Hey, the school will be open late in the evening, so if you guys like to come, you can take your dumbbells, any weights that you have, you can bring into to school. You can do your training." So I said, "Oh, that's cool." So my mother and father they gave me a 10-kilo dumbbell at that time, and like I said, I was
Yeah.
really small kid. So my main training was basically doing loaded carries from home, carrying the heavy dumbbell. At that time, 10 kilo was like, I was maybe
Yeah.
30 kilo, maybe, right? So carrying 10 kilo dumbbell, one third of my body weight to the school. Then I didn't do any lifting with it. Carrying it back home, that was beginning of my strength training career. So I was doing the loaded carries because before it was cool, right? So
Yeah,
it's
I mean, you started loaded carries.
1980, 1985, probably something like this.
And then you said there was a revolution in '89. Where did you grow up in, Coach?
Former Czechoslovakia, then later the country split into Czechia and Slovakia. I'm from Prague, the most beautiful city in the world. right in the heart of the Europe. So we were part of the communist Eastern Bloc. And in 1989, there was an anti-communist revolution called Velvet Revolution because it was relatively peaceful, right? So that 1989.
Do you remember what times were, do you remember what it was like during the
Oh
revolution?
yeah, I remember. I remember very well. I remember very well. Yeah. Not nice, yeah,
Not
communist,
nice.
yes, not nice, not nice. So in after 1989 you could feel the freedom, right? So I think the 90s, I mean, of course I was young, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to be 50 this year, so I'm getting older, but the 90s, the best time ever. You could feel the freedom. I mean, everybody was happy. We can travel, start to do business. No censorship. So it was 90s rocked.
90s were a good time. So you started your strength and conditioning career, or you're diving into strength and conditioning during primary school, it sounds like, doing loaded carries from home with your 10-kilo
Yes,
kettlebell.
yes, yes.
Where did you go from there? How did that progress, and how did it lead into your career?
Mhm. I was always looking for the best possible ways of strength and conditioning training for combat arts. That was my main interest. So basically, I tried everything from machine training, high intensity interval training, light dumbbells, pumping the biceps, and doing curls and sitting presses and whatnot. But later on, in early maybe 2000, 2005, 2006, 2007, something like that. I found a book called The Naked Warrior by Pavel Tsatsouline. The name, well, like Warrior Naked, that was interesting. So I bought the book, flipped through the book, and it was very different from everything else that I have seen until that time. Instead of lots of exercises, it featured only two main drills and skills: one arm push up and single leg squat. So I just flipped through the book, tried the different progressions, and I failed. I wasn't able to do it. So I thought, okay, let's start to read it from the beginning. I started to read from the beginning, and what I had noticed, what caught my attention, the author, Pavel Tsatsouline, he was teaching many things that I knew from my Chinese martial arts training. I just never thought that I could apply the same principles for strength training. In what I have done up until that time was basically high repetition push-ups, high repetition sit-ups, stuff like that. And Pavel was teaching, okay, grab the floor with your fingers, corkscrew your arm in your shoulder into the socket, depress the shoulder, breathe in a specific manner, lift your pelvic floor, brace the abs, stuff like that. What we call at StrongFirst strength skills, right? So I
Yeah.
was patiently reading the book, applying the various internal skills, so to speak, that Pavel was teaching in the Naked Warrior. And in about 3 days, I was able to do the pistol and one arm push up. And I thought, wow, this is really something. This is truly principle based training. What Pavel is teaching in the book are strength skills that will allow you to get stronger instantly, right? If you have the patience to apply the skills. And then what if you will be applying these skills for next couple of weeks and months? Then it means you will get stronger and stronger. So I was very impressed with the level of detail, how smart the skills were layered.
Yeah.
And I saw in the at the end of the book was a ad for so-called kettlebells, right? For the kettlebells,
Of
and I
course.
said, "Oh, this is really something." So I did some research online, and people were praising kettlebells and the results that they got, and I thought, man, if just 10% of that is true, it's worth to give it a shot. And interestingly, I trained with similar tools in US, in Hong Kong, in China, in my martial arts strength training. They have a very similar tool. So I bought immediately a full set of kettlebells from 4 kilos to 32 kilos at the time. Started to experiment, trial and error, bought all the DVDs, right? And started to watch the community around the kettlebells.
Yeah.
And of course, my dream was to get certified one day. And in 2012, I did with my wife level one. We became the first kettlebell certified instructors in our country, and again, the rest is the history. I attended the very first StrongFirst SFB bodyweight certification with Pavel, then level two, our SFL barbell, and enjoyed it very much. Of course, if the stuff is so good, you can keep it for yourself. So I started to teach it first in my martial arts schools, and later open up a separate just strength and conditioning gym for basically for everybody, right? All types of folks. I got promoted to team leader, later to senior, and finally to a master instructor. So forever grateful to Pavel Tsaculin, all my colleagues and my teachers, and for StrongFirst, because it was truly life changing event. And my wife, she's a StrongFirst team leader as well. She has her own gym, ladies only. Ladies, young girls and ladies in their 70s doing deadlifts and pull-ups and swings and snatches. So it's absolutely awesome.
Um, uh, how do you remember when you met Pavel for the first time?
Oh yeah, I remember very
How was
well.
that?
It was level one. I was waiting. I mean, everybody was waiting for the event to start, right? And Pavel just went to the center of the field to start the event, and then he noticed my name tag, like Pavel. So
Uh,
he looked at my name tag and he said, Pavel. And I said, yes, sir. And Pavel said, where are you from? And I said, Czech Republic, sir. And Pavel said, Vladimir Janda, good man, a very famous
yeah.
doctor, physiotherapist. Pavel is a fan of his teaching, right? So this is how we met, and then I was actually his first volunteer, right? For the first drill that he was demonstrating and correcting, so-called static stomp deadlift. So Pavel asked for volunteer. I volunteered, right? And Pavel said, "Of course, a gentleman named Pavel will be my first volunteer." So I was rooting with two kettlebells, bracing. Pavel was kicking my butt and
Yeah.
punching me in the stomach to get tight. So that was fun. And at the end of the event,
Yeah.
finish, he was signing my manual, right? And he wrote, "Power to Pavel, Pavel." And then looked at the manual and said, "Oh, I see some kind of symmetry here." Such a awesome gentleman. I have the honor to work with Pavel for years, and like I said, forever grateful.
Yeah, I think that's one of the that's one of the good things, or one of the great things about the company, Strong First as a whole. I've had the opportunity to talk to Fabio multiple times. He's been on the
Mhm.
podcast. I've had the opportunity to talk to Coach Brett Jones a couple times. Also, he's also been on the podcast.
Awesome guys, are my great friends. Yeah.
Kenneth out of Germany, also
Mhm.
great guy. And I think for me, my encounter with Strongfirst for the first time was the Quick and the Dead.
Mhm.
And I remember I was working in the Bay Area. It was almost like 10 years ago at this point, and my manager mentioned something about Pavel. Oh yeah, the guy that likes to rest for 10 minutes in between sets, and I'm like, what? Like, what is he talking about? So then I got curious. I looked up the name. The Quick and the Dead popped up. I downloaded. No, was it the Quick and the Dead? It was either that or Simple and Sinister, one of the two. Bought the book, got it shipped, and then I started reading the things. And I'm like, there's no way that this works. Like it kind of goes. It's like flipping everything that I know and that I've been brought up, and I've been fortunate enough to also be around very talented and gifted strength and conditioning coaches that are also very sensible.
Mhm.
But it kind of flipped everything that I knew 180. And I'm like, wait, how can I, like, how is this flipping what I know 180? And is there a way that I can combine it with what I'm doing? So like I can find my own person, but still have my strength practice be backed by principles that make sense.
Mhm.
And so I did the
Science as well. Yeah.
yeah, so like I did the protocol and I got the very famous what the hell effects, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what the hell just happened, right? And then after that, I was still a little bit skeptical, and I came across this program from Fabio, and it was the first time I ever heard the term technical rep max.
Mhm.
And I dove into how he described it. I applied it to my front squat, and I kid you not, I added like 40 pounds to my front squat in the span of like 7 weeks, and I was sold. I'm like, okay,
Without suffering, right? Without being constantly sore, without
yes,
getting injured. If I may back up even a little bit more,
mhm,
Pavel, actually his first books were about stretching and about barbell lifting. So the true revolution, I believe, the book was published in 1999. The Power to the People, right?
yes,
Uh, that was something. Okay, don't do dozens of exercise, just deadlift and press, side press or floor press, right? Just do exercise. Train 5 times a week. Like what the hell? Overtraining, right?
yep,
Do just 2 sets of 5. What do you mean? Just 2 sets of 5? That would be enough. So people were very skeptical, but who everybody who tried it made a new PR in couple of weeks. So instead of lots of exercises, just do deadlift and press. Instead of infrequent training, frequent training, 5 times a week. Instead of the usual 3 sets of 10, no, you just do 1 set of 5 with your main training weight, then you reduce it to 90% and do another set of 5. Done. So you'll be done in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, right?
yes.
You will not be sore, so still fresh. You have enough juice for any other activities that you will do. The transfer was awesome. So these are the results, and I have to say that this is genius of Pavel, that he takes very precise science, both from the former Eastern Bloc and the Western Bloc, right?
Yep.
And he dives into the research and he comes up with very simple protocols like Power to the People, Simple and Sinister, Rite of Passage, The Quick and the Dead, or his last book, Kettlebell X, right? It's genius. It's so simple, uh, but first of all, it works. Second, you are improving without damaging your health. You are actually improving your health by doing those protocols, and you have enough time and enough juice for your combat arts training, for your soccer or just
Everyday
hiking
life.
or
Yep.
yeah, everyday life. So this is really something. Every time I teach it and every time I practice it myself, I'm thinking, man, this is so good.
It's great. This idea of sub-maximal weights is and the adaptations that they create long term. It,
Not
it,
training,
it
not training to the failure, right?
exactly it really has been mind-blowing, and just understanding that if you need to peak for some reason for something, you can
Mhm.
do that little short period of peaking.
Yes,
But
yes.
what I call your strength reserve, or that strength that you built over a long period of time is there. And
Mhm.
and sometimes I get skeptical of my own practice, and I'm like, wait, I wonder if I can still do this. So my training is very simple. I do a lot of front squats, and I do a lot of split squats, swings and snatches, and then
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
95% of the chunk of my training. So
Sounds great.
I went on vacation in December. I was in the UK for about a week and a half. Came back. I didn't really want to train, but I did iron cardio protocols for a month and a half. And a couple weeks ago, I'm at work and I'm looking at the squat rack, and I'm just like, I wonder if I can still squat
Mhm.
405. I did a warm-up set. I went 135, 225, 315, 405, and I'm like, okay, I'm done for today. My strength is there. That's it. I
Yeah.
put the weights away and then I
Stable,
went home.
stable adaptation. That's the keyword. Stable adaptation.
Yes.
We can have protocols, you're usually, big guns in 6 weeks, and you will gain muscle mass or strength, and then it just, you are back square to zero again. So this is something that for me, for example, is very important because I travel a lot, teach for StrongFirst certifications in various countries. I need to have a program that suits my basically traveling warrior type of lifestyle. So
Yes.
even if I'm, let's say in China, learning martial arts. I've been in Thailand last year teaching a close workshop. Even if I skip my regular training with the tools that I'm using, let's say kettlebells, barbells, I don't have access to the equipment. I know when I come back after 3 or 4 weeks, it's just matter of 2 or 3 sessions, and I
Yeah.
am lifting the same weights that I lifted before. Because instead of a quick peak and then fall, stable adaptation.
Can you dive a little bit deeper into that, coach, just so we can talk about these like
Mhm,
long-term
mhm,
strength that lasts, just
mhm,
so
mhm.
because I think I think it's one of these important concepts that we learn in Strong First.
I'll give an example of probably the most famous kettlebell protocol by Pavel Tsatsouline, the kettlebell simple and sinister. So what you basically do is 10 sets of 10 swings, and then 10 sets of singles of the get up total, right? You start with a weight that allows you to do the drills with proper technique. It's a challenge, but you are nowhere close to failure. And you keep doing that for 2 to 4 weeks with the same weights, right? And then it starts to feel light. So you jump the weight, but just in one set. So you add one set with a heavier weight, and the body will notice, because especially in the kettlebells, the jumps are usually in 4 kilos, right?
Yep.
Sometimes you may make even a bigger jump, so something is really comfy, and then you add just one set, which is more challenging, and you finish the rest of the sets with your main training weight. During next weeks and months, you basically swap the old weights with the new weights, but very gradually. So see, the jump is a little bit bigger, so you are not using, 1 kilo, adding a half a kilo
Yes.
weight, but
Ooh.
if you jump from let's say 24 kilo to 28 or 32, it's pretty good jump, right? And you keep doing it for weeks, possibly months. The effect on the body is a stable adaptation on cellular level. So even if you, let's say, you need to finish a difficult project at work, you can't train that often, or you travel, or let's say you fall sick, right? You will maintain that level of strength after you come back to the iron. So it takes longer to build that level, but it lasts longer. On the other hand, we can have, like 2 3 weeks quick peaking protocol where we can bring your numbers, let's say in a deadlift or in a squat, high, but then the adaptation is not stable. So this is very useful for many athletes who need to keep their level of strength and conditioning. And just, let's say, before the event, before a powerlifting meet, we have a peaking, right, in
Yep.
powerlifting. Why not to use similar strategy for events like MMA fight, right? Then you can also have a couple of harder sessions to do what we call glycolytic peaking, to make sure that you are at your best when you go into the cage.
Yeah, and right now that you mentioned glycolytic peaking, I also like one of the big things that kind of blew my mind when I started reading about it was this concept of anti-glycolytic training,
Mhm, mhm,
where we're not necessarily teaching the body to tolerate more of this glycolytic process, but
mhm,
more so we're producing less of this waste product, right? Because we're
mhm,
pushing ourselves right to that level, and
mhm,
then we kind of do a big setback, and then we kind of go again, and then we go
mhm,
again, and then we go again, and so we're
mhm.
producing these
So-called
adaptations.
high intensity repeat training, which means that you can keep the same level of power for a longer time.
Yeah, so it does make you it does keep you feeling fresh, and
Mhm.
I will say there has to be some level of buy-in from the person, and we have to do a good job of, I hate the word selling, but it may be instructing and
I would say
teaching the people,
education. Yeah, education.
educating people so they understand that we have are the best interest in them, because leaving a session not feeling completely smoked or like somebody beat your butt
Mhm.
is kind of counterintuitive to what's sexy on Instagram, on TikTok,
Yes.
on Facebook, on YouTube.
I have a theory about that, and now you are mentioning the social media, right?
Okay.
Uh, that's instant gratification versus long-term progress and results, right? So TikTok, Instagram, you just, okay, new video and new post and new reel, right? So you get the instant and immediate gratification. This is like our training is like reading a good book, right? That I have
Yes.
here behind me. So you keep reading and you get the education, and then the info that you get is worth it. So the training, the same thing. You can either have the instant gratification. Oh, I did my session. I was huffing and puffing, and I'm all sweaty, and I'm sore for the next 3 days. But it's not really enjoyable session, right? In a long term. I mean, I need to practice on my own, but I also need to teach. I have other interests, and I can't be just training and eating and sleeping. I need to have life as well. So we are looking for, instead of instant gratification, long-term progress. Don't worry, some of the like difficult sessions they will come. The glycolytic peaking,
Yeah,
it's
not
not
fun.
it's not fun, right?
No.
I'm probably still the lightest guy to do the Sinister Challenge. And I mean, 100 swings with 48 kilo in 5 minutes with my body weight. I was about 68 kilo. It's not fun, right? So the peaking for the challenge, it wasn't pleasant, but it worked as a magic. So I was training. I had very comfortable training. I wasn't sore. I was sleeping well. The recovery was great, and I could still do my martial arts training. And only for the challenge was a very short time of more difficult, challenging sessions to prime me up to get me ready for the final test, and it worked. So I think it depends what people are looking for. If they like the suffering, hey, it's a free country, right?
It
But
is.
I like the result, and I also truly appreciate the health benefits, something that we pay attention to at StrongFirst a lot, right? So maybe you are in your 20s, 30s, and you think that you are immortal, but you will get older, and I still want to lift. If the fortune or God allows, I still want to lift with my buddies in my late 80s or 90s, right?
Yeah, and yeah, you bring up so many good points. I look for me, I think one of the biggest takeaways that I've had from practicing my strength differently now, like more with strong first principles, is I don't listen to music. I people think it's weird. I don't listen to music. I know that the lift will be difficult enough, but I'm not scared of the lift. And I know Fabiu's mentioned it in some articles or in some books at some point. I can't necessarily pinpoint them right now, but you almost learn to distinguish if that weight's going to be difficult enough because of your heart rate. Like if your heart rate starts to race, you're like,
Mhm.
okay, that's going to be way too difficult. Like I am nervous. Like that's not my practice weight. My
Yes,
practice weight is
that's so-called training max. What you
yes,
are referring to,
yes,
it's a weight that you can lift every single day without need of psych yourself up, and
yeah.
without your heart going up. Yes.
Yes, and I like that because I think we mentioned it off air. I don't like to be showboaty or anything when I'm training. I want to get my work done in an X amount of time, in,
Mhm.
out. I want to get my presses, I want to get my squats,
Exactly.
and then that's it. I don't need to psych myself up. And
Exactly.
I like that. It makes training better because I think we already live, like you were talking about health and wellness. We already lived in a relative stress life, and I don't want to add more stress just
Yes,
something that should make me healthier, and it should be enjoyable.
exactly,
Training should not be a punishment. It should be
exactly.
enjoyable, right? So
Exactly, I completely agree. And
uh,
also, your strength training could be your mindfulness training, right? So
yeah,
this is my time. This is me and my weight, right? And okay, for the next set, I'll concentrate and focus what I wanna do. Then I do it. Then I review. I do my fast and loose drills. No scrolling, no Facebooking, Instagramming. Right? Why the strength training can't be your mindfulness and meditation training as well. I'm a minimalist, right? This is something that I learned from Pavel as well. So I am applying the principles of minimalism to my lifting and to my life generally. So, for example, my strength training, 2, 3 lifts, focus, lifting on my own or with my buddies, uh, doing breathing exercises and relaxation exercise between the sets, taking notes every single session because every single session is my practice, is my experiment, right? So I try to dive deep into my body and experiment how to do it better, right?
yes.
And I'm always lifting fasted and cold. Okay, it's cold. Or hot. Okay, it's hot, right? So it's I put more stuff together, and as we know from today's science, the benefits are better if you do, let's say, your strength training and fasting and cold exposure and breathing exercises if you put it into one training session. And it's also my mindfulness training session.
You train fasted?
Yes, always.
What?
Like I said, I did many experiments. I did timeless sinister, which is 100 swings with 48 and 10 get-ups with 48 after 5 days fast.
How did that feel?
Interestingly, because I'm used to train
Yeah.
fasted, so the swings nothing, not much different, not much different. During the get-ups, I started to feel that the weight is heavier than usually, but I did manage, right? I did manage. I think we wouldn't survive here as a species if you had to have your tuna and rice every like or chicken every 2 hours, right? So
Yeah.
that's probably my original background, the combat arts. I want to be ready. I want to be ready regardless, food or no food, sleep, not sleep. I want to be always ready. When the alarm goes off, I need to be ready.
How did you prep for the 5-day fast, coach? And was it like just water and caffeine fast, or was it how did that go?
Uh, what I used to do basically I'm every day on intermittent fasting, so I have my first meal is a late lunch. When I'm teaching, I just taught 3 weeks in a row, right? So I having just one meal a day, just late dinner. So I'm used to the fasted state, and actually my main reason is that my brain works so much better, so I can focus better. So what I used to do is 4 times a year a 5-day fast. The research that I followed said that the main benefits are somewhere between 4 to 10 days. So I love food, I love eating, so I said, okay, I'll do 5 days fast. But the current research says that most of the benefits, like 80% of the benefits, is after 3 days. So this is what I'm doing right now. 3 days, 3 days fast, more often than 4 times a year. Let's say once month, every 2 months, and it's good for your health. There is such a thing called autophagia, right? Your body starts basically to eat itself, but it first gets rid of the damaged material, the damaged cells. Uh,
Mhm.
it's good for, it's also your mindfulness and mind training. You will find out how much we are dependent on food. Like we are slaves of the food. I'm a huge fan of the ancient Stoic philosophy,
Yeah.
and this is what they have done on purpose, fasting and cold exposure. But they said it is your mind training, the strength of your mind. So this is what I do.
So do you drink any water? I mean, I'm
Yes,
sure you do water.
I drink water, water and tea usually.
What's the hardest part about fasting for you? Like those long fasts?
It's not hard. It's just
No.
realize the hardest thing is to realize that it's not hard. You will survive, right? But it's interesting experiment because you will find out truly that we are slaves of eating. So you are not really hungry, but you just want to taste the food, right? But it's not hard. One of the old samurai sayings says that if you will treat any discomfort in your life that you meet as a practice, your suffering will instantly disappear.
Oh my
So
God.
so okay, my lifting training. Oh, again today heavy. No, it's a practice, and then no suffering, right? Oh, fasting. I remember one time I was traveling by airplane, and there was some kind of strike, so they didn't serve the food on the plane, and people went crazy. They were nuts, and I just thought, hey, this is training. I'm used to that, right? I wouldn't eat that food anyway, so. Or let's say you go out and suddenly it starts to rain and cold and wind, right? And you may start to suffer. Oh, poor me! I'll get sick, and right? Or you will say, oh, this is what I train for. This is practice.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, for you, it sounds like some of the benefits are just less mind fog. Do you feel more energy after the fast
Oh yeah.
also?
Yes,
Wow,
yes. There's if you look through the research, your growth hormone actually spikes up.
really?
I would say that I'm very flexible as for the eating, so I can adapt to the fast. I don't have what they called, I believe, keto fever, right? People who are
Yeah.
eating lots of carbs, and then they have a headache and cranky mood. I can adapt very fast. But my main reason is for, I mean, I do have a six pack. I take care of my body. I make money with my body. So people want to see me to lift some heavy weights and also to look good and move good, right? So I have the best job in the world. But my main reason for the way I eat and for the fasting is not the aesthetics, the looks, but my brain works so much better.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, speaking of lifting and it being a cool job, you do some very interesting lifts. You're really good at the bench press.
Oh, that's my favorite lift. I love the bench press.
He- Let's
I'll
talk a
tell you
little
the
bit.
story. I'll tell you the
Yes,
story of the bench press. When I got Pavel's first book, a Russian Kettlebell Challenge, or of course I flipped to the end. What are the most advanced exercises,
of
right?
course.
And Pavel is teaching the bench press and two hands anyhow. And I saw these lifts and I said, "Oh man, I want to learn this." And this it was love at first sight. So I've done lots of research about the bench press. It was one of the most popular lifts back in the old days because it allows you to lift the heaviest weight possible overhead with one arm. So the cool thing about the bench press, sky is the limit. And I mean, I love all the presses. I love the military press, but you will reach a certain limit because it's physics, right? If I'm military pressing, standing a certain weight, the body will start
Yes.
to fall sideways. The combined weight of the kettlebell, especially if the center of mass is outside, it's physics. With the bench press, sky is the limit. The world record is around 170 kilos with one arm overhead by Arthur Saxon. We have ladies doing bench presses with 48 kilos, right? And what I like about the bench press, Pavel says it's a great drill for advanced minimalist because you have the strength, you have the mobility and flexibility aspect. And what I like about it, I call it the Zen lift because it's a mindfulness lift. If you do it right, even with a heavy weight, it feels fairly easy. So I love the bench press. I have a project in works which is called IPM, Imperial Program Minimum, the snatch and the bench press, a specific variation of the snatch, low rep, fairly heavy, weightlifting type of snatch. So you do a pre-swing and then you lunge forward and do the snatch and just catch it into the rack. So this is a snatch part, and then the bench press. This is something that I'm doing for last couple of months right now.
Well, can you talk us like some of the results that you've seen from this project, in like
Um,
performance wise, or
mhm, mhm. I'm always looking for transfer, right? So
yeah,
my criteria for a good strength training program, it has to be simple. So two, three lifts. The program has to be simple, something that I will remember. So I don't need to pull out the sheet with how many reps and sets. So I need to remember it. I need to recover well. I need to have enough juice for my combat art training. It needs to at least maintain my mobility, flexibility, or even improve it. And I need to see the transfer to anything else that I'm doing, hiking, combat arts, games, stuff like that. So that's why I'm such a huge fan of, let's say, Pavel's programs,
yeah.
Power to the People, deadlift and press, simple and sinister, the swing and the get up. I have done the program for 5 years, I believe, right? And I didn't want it to change because it got me all the results that I wanted. I switched to another program after I finished the Sinister Challenge, right? And same thing goes for the snatch and for the bench press. So quick lift, explosive power, low rep, and then mindfulness lift, Zen lift, slow gear, and heavyweight overhead.
For those of you listening who don't know what a bench press is, I recommend you go to Coach Pavel's page, or I'm gonna try and describe it. Uh, Again, for those of you listening, you kind of set up like you're gonna do a windmill, and then you end up doing a hip hinge with some thoracic rotation, and you're not necessarily pushing the weight away from yourself. You are pushing yourself away from the weight. I'm gonna say that again. You're
Yes.
not pushing the weight away. You're pushing your body away from the weight.
Exactly.
And
So
if
you
you
break the bell and it stays at the same spot, and you go under the bell, then you bend your legs and go up.
exactly, so I'm gonna call it mobility training with weight, and if you do it
Yeah.
correctly, it
Yes.
feels amazing. I'll do some very light bench presses after a day where I've done a lot of computer work,
Hmm.
and it's a game changer. It's even
Yes.
like it pairs really well with a squat. I'm always looking for stuff that pairs really well with my front squat,
Hmm.
especially for days where I've been sitting a lot. And the bench press done at the right weight is just it's the perfect supplement to my front squat.
Hmm.
So
And the squat also helps your bench press. Uh, like I said, people sometimes think that it's advanced lift, and then you need to have excellent like shoulder mobility, thoracic spine mobility, hip mobility to do the lift. But I think, if you do it correctly with the right progressions, the lift helps you to actually improve your shoulder mobility and thoracic mobility and hip mobility. So
true.
I have developed a progression that can teach the bench press basically to anybody. The important thing is to find out what bench press style suits your body, right? There are various styles of the bench press. There are certain rules that are the same for any type or variation of the bench press, but there are different styles for different body types. So my bench press will maybe quite different from your bench press. And we have tools at StrongFirst how to find out what bench press styles will suit you. Same thing for the squat, right? If you have a
Yep.
long torso, long femur, the angle of the body will be different. So it depends on your ankle mobility or your hip mobility or your femur length or your torso length. So same thing applies to the bench press. And of course, I need to give credit and mention my great friend David Whitley, Iron Tamer. He's my bench press teacher. So I'm very happy that I had the chance to learn the bench press from him. And then I did my research. I have a very vast collection of books and magazines and articles. And like I said, bench press was one of the favorite lifts of the all-time strongman. So we have actually lots of resources with many great tips from people. I mean, back in the old days, Sigmund Klein, he founded so-called 200 pounds club, right? So it was a usual thing, right? Just to lift 200 pounds. Klein, he wrote with proper technique and patience. Everybody should be lifting 200 pounds after 6 months of bench press training.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah, they were different breed, brother. Different breed at that time.
I mean, it sounds like it, but I want to stay on this topic of programming because guys, if you haven't done so, go purchase Coach Pavel's The Great Gamma Protocol. It was one of the first pieces of work that I read from him, and I don't want to dive deep into it. I'm gonna let him take over, but it's such a game changer. And for me, again, it's another thing that blew my mind because I remember I was at the Programming Demystified seminar 2, 3 years ago in Phoenix, and Fabio, and Hector described Strong First as archaeologists of strength and conditioning or old protocols and applying them to recent times. And I feel like this protocol, this Great Gamma protocol, fits that same bill very well. It seems to be old research that was um, found by Pavel, so he became an archaeologist, and then he brought it to life. So, Coach, can you walk us through a little bit about that protocol? And I know you mentioned there's a 2.0 coming out also, so take it away.
Mhm. The story of Great Gamma Protocol. First of all, we need to give credit to Matt Fury and his Combat Conditioning book that was published in early 2000, featuring Hindu push-ups and Hindu squats and the wrestlers' bridges. Matt Fury learned from the legendary Karl Gotch, famous wrestler. So this is my first contact with these exercises, right? So I did, like usually, I did my research and what I found out in early 1900 when the Indian wrestlers started to travel the world and compete with the Western wrestlers, they had amazing strength and amazing stamina. And people thought, okay, how do they train, right? So of course they did various types of exercises, rope climbing, digging field with a hoe, lifting weights, of course, but they have done lots of what's today's called Hindu push-ups and Hindu squats, Dant and Batak, and this is something that the Western journalists have seen that they are doing lots of Hindu push-ups, lots of Hindu squats. Interestingly, in the Western world, these exercises were adapted as well fairly soon, not only by the wrestling community but also boxing community. So, a book about boxing, but by famous lifter Thomas Inch, has deep knee bends and push-ups very similar to the Hindu push-ups. Bruce Lee was a huge fan of Dance and Bedaks as well, so he wrote about them in his notes and he was doing them on a regular basis. Masahiko Kimura, famous judo wrestler, the one who defeated Helio Gracie in the match, so he was super strong judoka. So if so many great people say about certain exercises that they are so good, there must be something about it. I used my StrongFirst education, not only the research of the ways how the old timers have done it, and of course the original Indian wrestlers, but I applied my StrongFirst knowledge, deconstructed the drills, add layers of details to the lifts, made various progressions. So the program is for anybody. You have easy version, you have the standard version, little bit more challenging and more challenging. So everybody can benefit from the program. The pure beginner or very very advanced lifter. So I designed the progression, and the important thing is a program. Like I said, I'm a minimalist. I'm looking for the minimal effective dose. My strength training, StrongFirst based strength training is usually low rep and fairly heavy. This training, Great Gamma Protocol, complements my regular strength training greatly because it's fairly high rep
Yeah.
and very easy exercises. I like the term that Pavel is using, health restoring calisthenics. Health restoring calisthenics. So I'm not necessarily doing my Hindu push-ups and Hindu squats for strength and for conditioning. I have other tools to do so, but for health. And I like to do it as a so-called morning recharge. So I do 12 minutes of sun salutations, which is part of the protocol.
Yeah.
Then I do one long set of Hindu push-ups, matching my age. 49 push-ups right now, will be 50 this year. And then Hindu squats double, right? So 90, 98 Hindu squats. Then I have added another exercise, which is, in my opinion, for general population, better than the wrestlers' back bridges, so-called thoracic rotational bridge, to open up your T-spine
Yes.
and improve your hip extension and strengthen your glutes and the posterior chain. And done in a couple of minutes, you are done. We have just shot last weekend updated version because the original Great Gamma Protocol was shot in 2020, and I am very happy that it was so useful for the students who purchase the online course. So I have lots of reviews and testimonials, and of course we are always looking for the ways how to make it better.
Yeah.
So the new version is, on one hand, is simplified, on other hand goes a more deeper. I have another exercise which is called sapate, which is the original Hindu burpee, right? And I added
Burpees.
another training protocol based on Karl Gotch, what was called back in the old days Karl Gotch's Bible. So you'll be doing Hindu push-ups, Hindu squats, and you will use a very fun way how to program it using a deck of cards. And of course, I made sure that it's compatible with our strong endurance protocols. So it's a very fun way to train both on your own. You basically take a deck of cards. How many cards you take? Your age divided by 4. This is something that I recommend to start with. You select a card, draw a card. It's a black card, you do push-ups. It's a red card, you do squats. If you have a face card or ace, you do 10 reps, regardless. Yeah, the other cards, you do the number on the card. And if you have a joker, awesome, you do 10 sapate, 10 Hindu push-ups and squats, the original burpee, right? Very enjoyable way to train, very fun way to train. You have a waving of the volume, of the daily volume. So some days you do less, some days you do a little bit more, some days you are somewhere in between, and that's actually a great advantage for recovery, for long-term improvement. Great way to train in a group training environment. So we did it last year on my martial arts school training camp. So you know, you have a group of students, one will select the card, will do the push-ups, then another will select the card. Oh, Joker again, right? So it's a very enjoyable way to train.
And what would you say are some of the, if you have to give three bullet points, what are some of the benefits people can expect from this protocol?
I would say foundational strength, conditioning, and loaded mobility.
Interesting. Well, guys, if you're looking for those three things, foundational strength, load and mobility,
Mhm.
get the Great Gamma Protocol. When is the second
I
one
would,
coming out?
I would also mention another important thing, and
Yeah,
this is something that Pavel writes about in his books, and also an author that I'm following for a long time, Thomas Kurz. He is known for his stretching protocols. What he says that after your main, you can use it also after your main strength training. He says that. What he does, right? So he finishes his squats and bench presses and deadlifts, and then he will do one long set, 100 Hindu push-ups, and one long set, 200 Hindu squats for his ligaments, soft tissue, different. Let's say we know that for strength, for muscle, you can
yeah,
do, let's say, sets of five, and with relatively heavy weight, bunch sets of five, and you will get stronger, and you will grow, right?
yeah,
But other structures, they need more repetitions. For your ligaments and soft tissue, you need to do light exercises, fairly high rep. So at least, let's say, 30 reps plus. And Thomas Kurs, he says you can do three sets of 30, or you can just do one long set. It should be fairly easy. So I made sure that the Great Gamma protocol also follows the strong endurance type of programming, observing the torque test, observing so-called strong first stop signs, which
yeah.
means your technique doesn't change, your rhythm doesn't change, your speed doesn't change, the rate of perceived effort is not higher than 7, let's say, on scale 1 to 10,
Yeah.
and so on.
When does 2.0 release, Coach?
We'll see. We just shot it last weekend, and
Okay.
I'm right now finishing another project of mine, which is called Kettlebell VIP, Vintage Iron Power, which will be the old time strongman kettlebell variations, lifts, variations that we don't see that often today, but some of the popular kettlebell lifts variations, specific ways of doing the get up, some snatch variations, even lifts that are not known anymore, such as a Swiss lift, some basic kettlebell juggling, and flipping the bell. So it's something that I've been working on again for last couple of years, basically digging through the old books and the manuals. And the online course will feature many of these all-time strongman exercises and variations, plus also cool pictures and articles, the original articles. So you will learn about Gerner's chain or the Swiss lift that was done by the wrestlers. I translated some old Russian manuals as well. So I'll teach uh, introductory kettlebell program by Uncle Vanya, famous lifter Lebedev, assisted swing, assisted clean, assisted push press, and some cool stuff. Cool stuff. You will like it, guys.
Okay, so you have the VIP, the
Mhm.
Great Gamma Protocol, and then did you say there was a third one coming out also? Or no? Or am I
Oh,
losing my mind?
I have always lots of projects in works. The hard thing is to finish one, right?
True.
Great Gamma Protocol updated version, the kettlebell VIP Vintage Iron Power, and then next is a follow up to the Great Gamma Protocol, which is called Mighty Hanuman Protocol. Again, Hindu push-ups, Hindu squats, but more movement base, variations that will get you out of the symmetrical stance, so to speak. So more load on one arm and using the legs in a very specific manner, and same goes for the squats. Again, all it's not something that I made up. I'm creative, but in a way that I go through stuff that has been done back in the old days that
Yes.
was done for, in some cases for hundreds years, and exercises that got lost for some reason. And then I select through the lens of my functional movement systems education and through my StrongFirst educations, lifts and exercises and variations that I found to be beneficial. And I deconstruct them and prepare a step-by-step procedure how anybody basically can learn them.
Guys, I have copies of every single program, but don't bother me because I will not share them with you. No, I'm kidding. I don't. But I'm looking forward to seeing all these projects drop. There, if you guys are trying to get more of an idea of what Coach Pavel's like, go to Strong First, search the articles, search his name. You get a bunch of information there. It's always a good idea to, I guess, window shop and see whose protocols resonate a little bit more with you, because I think that's also important in terms of longevity, health, and wellness. You have to find a coach whose practice resonates with you and stick with that for a long time, right? Choose someone who's practicing something that you can do for the rest of your life, not just a month and not just 2 months. And I think the Strong First article section is a great place to start window shopping and seeing what everybody's about. Plus, you get a bunch of free, like if you guys don't have the money to invest, it's not that you don't want. If you don't have the money to invest, there's always really good pieces of information there. Sometimes you might get samples of training sessions. So again, you really get to start to practice and dive into what all the coaches at the Strong First family are like.
Mhm. I just had and over the last year, this year, I published a three-part series about dumbbell lifting. That was a project
Yes.
that I've been working on for last 10 years when I started to travel and teach for StrongFirst. Very often on the road, in the gyms, the kettlebells not heavy enough, or even no rack, no barbells, but even almost at every hotel or CrossFit gym I trained, they had a wide selection of the dumbbells. So I started to experiment with dumbbell lifting, first lifting them like kettlebells, and then I thought, okay, let's find out if there is a proper way how to lift dumbbells. So finally, after 10 years of work, we published an online course called Enter the Dumbbell, and I have to say that I love dumbbell lifting. It's quite different from what you see in today's fitness centers. So again, dumbbell lifting from the floor overhead, dumbbell overhead swing, dumbbell clean, dumbbell presses, low rep, heavy. If you like kettlebells, if you travel a lot, if you want to have a specialized variety for your lifting, for weightlifters, I think this is awesome as well. So I love dumbbell lifting, and I have to say, clean and press. I love the kettlebell clean and
Yeah.
press, but I love probably the dumbbell clean and press even better. So suits
Really?
yeah, my shoulder really likes it
Mhm.
after the cycle of my dumbbell lifting program called LTC, linking the chain. I pressed more than a half of my body weight, left and right, for 2 reps. And I just got another testimonial from one of the students of the online course. He said that his 1 rep max was 30 kilo, and after one round of the protocol, he pressed 35 kilos. So it's very good result right there.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah,
How
and
long
again,
how
with not much, with very simple program, very simple program.
how long is each cycle, just so people get an idea of this
I
jump?
believe it's somewhere around 12 weeks.
Yeah, that's a big jump.
Yes.
That's a very, very big jump.
Mhm.
Coach, what's your favorite book? I see that you did mention that you have a lot of books. What's your favorite book?
You mean strength and conditioning or fiction or
You can only choose one book.
I can choose only one book.
Uh,
People asked Pavel Tsatsouline about choosing one lift, and he said life is too short to choose only one lift. So
okay.
I read a lot. I usually read about 3 books a week. My average daily average reading time is about 3-4 hours. So apology, Martin. I just can't. I can give you like top 10 possibly or maybe top 5,
Give
but
me a
I
top
can't
five.
choose just one. Yeah.
Top five in the last year. Let's go top five last year.
I'm reading lot of about mindfulness and meditation. This is
Okay.
something that I'm doing on a regular basis for last couple of years, and I feel that it's just awesome. So like it improved the quality of my life and focus, and people say that I'm more kind as well. So
Okay.
it's not just me who feels the change, but people around me, my wife, my family, my students. I read some books about Ramana Maharshi of Advaita Vedanta. So this is something that I enjoyed very much. I read since I was a kid books about Zen Buddhism and Taoism and Buddhism in general, right? And the Hindu tradition of the Hinduism. I didn't know much about it, and I enjoy that a lot. So Ramana Maharshi, it's something like it's called something like "Be What You Are" or something like this. So
Okay.
that was really good book.
Yeah, well, there you go, guys. Read that book.
And I'm rereading also probably my favorite book series, which is The Dark Tower by Stephen King. It's right there.
The Dark Tower.
So Dark Tower
Oh,
by Stephen King. That's my favorite saga. I read it multiple times. I'm reading it again. So I'm a huge fan.
so it sounds like you're going to be traveling a lot also for Strong
Mhm,
First. I know you're going to be in
mhm,
LA or in California in June.
mhm,
Where else can people catch you this year?
mhm. I'll teach. I was this year already. I was teaching in France, and I just came from UK. I taught 2 workshops there.
Oh yeah.
I'll be teaching SFB bodyweight certification in 2-3 weeks. I'll be teaching SFG kettlebell level 2 in England, then US. Oh no, Poland. I'll teach SFB bodyweight in Poland. Then US, the Enter the Dumbbell, the very first US Enter the Dumbbell workshop, and StrongFirst Resilient. Again in Poland, again in UK, and we are just negotiating details. Switzerland, the StrongFirst Resilient again. And I forgot the SFG level 2 in Prague certification. So I'm very blessed and very happy for all the opportunities. I love traveling. I love meeting other people. I love to see other cultures and eat their food. So I love to teach what I find myself to be so beneficial.
Yeah. So Coach has got a lot of places that he's going to be at this year, guys. So if you want to catch Pavel, make sure you go to the Strong First website. Again, I'll include all this information in the description. We're going to start to wrap things up. Coach, any last things? Where can people find you if they want to work with you, if they want to buy your stuff?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
You can
where
find me. You can find me on social media. So just type my name, Pavel Macek. I have a Facebook English page, Instagram account. I'm on X as well. I'm trying to share stuff that I'm actually doing. Right. So things that are on my mind. If you like strength training, combat arts, health, mindfulness. and please follow my accounts. I have a English page which is called Simplex Strong, which is mainly devoted to the old-time strongman training. I have the online courses as well, and of course, please check out my profile at my alma mater, StrongFirst. I wrote many articles for StrongFirst. I had the honor, together with my wife, to be featured in the Kettlebell Simple and Sinister online course, and also in the Enter the Dumbbell online course. So I'm active on the forum, StrongFirst forum, which is an excellent resource for anybody who is interested in strength, conditioning, health. So if you want an answer specific from me, you can tag me, and I'll always make time, always do my best to answer and help you guys.
Yes, guys, he's very active on socials. Posts probably on a daily basis. If you guys are trying to get the Great Gamma Protocol, it's on this Simplex website. Plus a thousand other things that he's got on there. I was on that page earlier this week. There's a lot of resources. There's also articles on there. So please go check that out. Check the link out to meet him if you guys want to meet him in person. I might go to Modesto and take him to go
Would
eat.
be great. That would be very interesting too. Coming there, many StrongFirst friends, and of course Mike Sousa's place. His gym is awesome. So we'll have fun. We'll have fun. Looking forward to it a lot. I'll meet many friends that I know only online. So it's always great to meet in a
Yes.
real life. They always look at me and they say, "Oh, you are so short and so small." Yes, yeah, but I still live the ways that I lived, right?
Like, but I'm shredded. I'm shredded and have a six pack. Check this out. Coach, thank you so much for your time. I really do hope that we get to meet in person in June. I'll try my best to be out there and spend some time together, maybe even catch a lift. I know it won't be the last time you'll be on the podcast. We'll get together later and talk about something else. Maybe we'll have a couple other strong first instructors on here and make it a round table.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for the invitation,
Yeah.
Martin. I enjoy our conversation a lot. Also, before we started to roll, so you are doing great stuff over there. So just keep doing what you are doing. Hopefully, meet you soon in real life.
Yes. More real life interaction, less social media.
Exactly, exactly. Completely agree.
Th Thank you, Coach. I will talk to you soon. I'm going to stop recording and then I'll say thank you off there. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your night. And stay strong.
Thank you.